Hey everybody, welcome to Watches with Dennis, and I wanted to do a quick Q&A video including talking about my favorite Moonphase complication watch, but I want to go ahead and just say up front, if you enjoy the video, please give it a like. If you want to be notified, click subscribe for new videos, and otherwise, let's just get into it. I'm going to try and make this one not go very long. Only got 4 questions I'm going to respond to today. So I'm going to look off to the side so I can read those, but first question is from Joe Bolt on YouTube, who asks, what is your favorite watch with a moon complication? Now, the proper answer is I don't really have a favorite moon complication watch because I haven't really thought of it in that context. I do not own any watches with a moon phase currently. The closest I did have at one point was a Panomatic Lunar from Glashütte Original, and I enjoyed that watch quite a bit, and I really did like that moon phase. The problem is I ended up wanting to get a longer one, and the asymmetrical dial was pretty similar, so I ended up letting that GO go, and I never replaced it with another watch that has a moon phase. However, that's not a fun answer to say I don't have a favorite, so let me just tell you what I think of. If you tell me moon phase, I think of JLC, or Jaeger-LeCoultre's Master Ultra Thin. It's everything I think about with Moonphase. It's an elegant design. I tend to think of it in the precious metal version, blue dial, gold case, 6 o'clock centered, very tastefully done. Moonphase complication. Otherwise, pretty much time only, though it does have a date, but again, that's around the Moonphase. So again, it's very well integrated. And I also think that moon phases should not be overly clunky unless they're in a sports watch. And so that it's the ultra thin that pops in my head is why that is the case, is because that is a thin watch. But anyway, if you say Moonphase, that's what I think of. So I guess if I was to pick a favorite, it would be that one. Next question is from Jumpin' Jack Flash on Watch Crunch, who asks, what makes your channel different from all the millions of other watch videos? In this case, I'm reminded of a movie, Kingdom of Heaven. There's a scene where the character Saladin is being asked, what is Jerusalem worth? And he says nothing. And then he turns around and he goes, everything. And that's probably the best way to describe it. I am not going to have nearly the production values of so many other people on YouTube. I am not going to have the expertise that someone who sells watches would have, or someone who is a watchmaker would have, or someone who's deeply professionally invested as a member of the media would have. All I can bring to you is my own perspective. And just like everyone else, I have my own take. And whether or not that's of value, of course, comes down to whether or not you want to subscribe and you want to watch the videos or not. I'm not trying to make a career of it. I enjoy my career. This is a hobby. This is for fun. I think I get a lot more out of the hobby by doing content creation in this fashion, by going beyond forum posting. And while I do enjoy watching the channel succeed and grow, my hope is that the way I approach it is to make it an interesting discussion while having fun along the way. And hopefully the viewers enjoy that. But if you don't, there are, as you noted, millions of other videos you can go and watch, and hopefully a few of them will appeal to the way you like to engage with the hobby. Third question from YouTube is from Supfood, who asks, bracelet or strap? Again, there's a whole bunch of nuance if we're talking about a dress watch and all of that, but that's not interesting in any way, so let me just do it really succinctly, bracelet. If a watch comes with a bracelet as an option, I almost always want the bracelet. In fact, even if I'm getting something like when I bought my Prospex and I knew that the garbage bracelet of Seiko was going to be the garbage bracelet of Seiko, I still ended up getting it because I wanted the watch and I knew I was going to change straps out on it, which I have done. And sadly, the funny thing is I like bracelets so much for watches, sports watches specifically, that I still regret that the bracelet on that Seiko isn't as good as I wish it would be, even though I bought it fully knowing that it was going to disappoint. So anyway, when push comes to shove, I choose bracelets. And the final question I'm going to answer is also from Joel Bolt, who posted on YouTube asking, I just bought a Pepsi on Jubilee, the gray market. What is your opinion of the watch and of my decision making? Well, you need to do whatever you think is best, so I'll start with that. I'm assuming we're talking about the Rolex Pepsi specifically, and we're talking about the current reference number. Of all of the GMT-Master IIs that Rolex makes, if I were to buy one right now, it would be the Pepsi, and it would be on the Jubilee. So I think you picked the best option. I like the new one as well, the new, more conservative bezel insert version that they came out with this year. However, ultimately, in terms of my own collecting, if I were to get a GMT-Master II, I like the Pepsi the best. It's really grown on me over the years. I'd say at this point more so even than the Coke bezel, which historically was my favorite colorway. All that said, I would not have gone on gray market to buy it. And that is mostly driven by the fact that I am not super compelled to get any particular watch that I wouldn't be willing to wait and get it, in this case, retail, because that is the cheaper option. Just like so many of the watches I buy gray or I buy used, because I'd rather save the money, save a few $1,000s, maybe have a few scratches on it, rather than take that value depreciation. And it's not because I view watches as an investment. It's rather I'm trying to maximize how far I can get with my dollars. And if something costs $15,000 gray, but $11,000 retail, I'd rather save the $4,000 because that's another watch right there. All that said, it's easy for me to say because I don't have this particular compulsion to get a GMT-Master II. In fact, it's not on my wish list at all. I'm just saying that, like, if I were to get another Rolex beyond a no-date Submariner, which I am on a list for, I would go ahead and I would probably go for the Pepsi GMT-Master II in the configuration that you got. So I wouldn't feel bad about doing it. If I really wanted it, then it would make sense. But since I'm not in that boat, I would have waited, knowing that it would have been a year plus to get the watch. But anyway, those are all the questions I wanted to tackle today. I'll probably pop up more of these later on to do, but I guess also if you want to potentially propose questions, you can do those in the comments on this video, and I'll try and remember and go back and do this again in a few weeks if I don't have any other topics to cover. Anyway, I already did all my other plugs at the start of the video, so I hope you all have a really good day. Take care.